Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Loan Officer Marketing Podcast. I have my good friend Craig Sewing on the show today. Craig, welcome to the show.
Chris, thank you for having me. It's
It's
good to see you. It's been a while, but I've known you for a long time, and it's good to see you're out there still hustling and doing the mortgage game, man. It's an industry that I am incredibly fond of. It's where I came from. I love it.
I did not know that.
Really. Yeah, man. So I worked for MTV when I was 21 years old in New York City. Came back to Missouri, where I'm originally from. I'm in San Diego now, dead
Mm.
broke, and needed a job and looked at literally a yellow pages and saw a ad for a telemarketer, and I called, and it was for a mortgage company, and I was 21 years old. I didn't even know what a mortgage was. And I went in and I didn't make one phone call as a telemarketer. They're like, "Hey, you could be an assistant loan officer." What's that? And the rest is history. I started originating loans, which in hindsight, there should be no 21-year-old uh, like I was that should be allowed to originate loans. So different world back then, but I
Yep.
found my way into the space, and we grew, and I did really well with it, and I became a loan officer and then a branch manager, and I started my own thing. But that's honestly where it started. I have a deep, deep love for the mortgage industry. It's truly saved my life, man. It really, really
That
did. I wasn't on the right track. And then I found this thing and I loved it. I became obsessed with the entrepreneurial spirit of it. And, even today with what we do with the American Dream Media, I mean, mortgage is still very much involved, but yeah, it's where I came from.
that is awesome. That is super cool. What a journey.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So the American Dream, and the reason why, so we reconnected at an event with Dave Savage, and the reason I reached out, and again, thank you for being on the show, is you're helping loan officers set appointments with qualified real estate agents with a very unique offer. So for somebody that doesn't know what the American Dream is, can you unpack the offer that a loan
Yeah.
officer gives to a
So
real
I
estate?
think I think a framework and understanding of what American Dream Media is, which I'm the CEO of American Dream Media. What does it do? It creates national television shows. And when we get to the granular side of what does that mean to real estate and mortgage, it kind of the way you would want to look at it is this. It is a very real show, not reality TV and drama filled, but it's a real show, real professionals sharing real stories of real neighborhoods. And the way I would look at it is think of it like a B2B model first before it's a B2C show.
Okay.
B2B, business to business. We have 1,200 or so of the best real estate professionals in the country in real estate and mortgage that are involved with this. And what are they doing? Well, we're creating a B2C show that we produce, edit, put on TV, and try to win some awards along the way for the quality of production. So we got a couple Emmy nominations and 12 Telly Awards and gets millions of views. It's on HGTV, the travel channel. So I mean, we all understand what a TV show is, but again, not reality TV, but a real show, real professionals showing us real neighborhoods. Now, if you get underneath it all, the thing that we've done that's pretty unique is we've been able to create the show without advertisers. And the reason
Mm.
that's relevant is advertisers is where mainstream media sells its soul to fund itself. Look at the news these days, look at reality TV and the clickbait. I think the number is like 83% of advertising dollars are big pharma. I mean, so
Wow.
it has a disease. We are an entrepreneurial model that have trailblazed something in media, but we were born from real estate and mortgage. And so we've designed it in a way that top tier mortgage professionals and real estate professionals can be involved with it. And there's a licensing fee to be able to repurpose the content we create. So think
Okay.
about Tom Ferry, Dave Savage, Barry Habib, Ryan Serhant. They all tell real estate and mortgage professionals, you need to do more content. You need to do
Yep.
more video. You need to do more social. Well, those things cost money. In our world, we're producing the show, airing the show, putting on TV, wanting to win our awards. But if I'm a professional like mortgage, I want that content. I want to repurpose it. Well, if you're on HGTV and Bravo on your own, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. In our world, we want you posting and sharing. And so back to your original question, if I'm a mortgage professional looking at it, well, look, Quicken Loans ain't getting any smaller. Rocket buying Redfin. Look, brand is important for mortgage, just like it is for realtors. I think a lot of mortgage professionals know that by now, but it's not easy to do. How do you get out there? You're doing all these other things like memorizing underwriting guidelines and interest rates and chasing realtors. Well, what this does is it empowers mortgage professionals' brand because of credibility and content that can be repurposed into their spheres, their social. But I mean, what a unique way to be able to reach out to realtors, right? Reach out with donuts and rate sheets, or I'm the host of a two-time Emmy nominated TV show, and we'd love to feature on an upcoming segment that's on HGTV to share your story of why you love San Diego. It's just a unique way for them to add value to the real estate community and to partner with them in this content game on something that's more than just doing a video. It's on a TV show, but when that show's done airing, it is a video that they can all repurpose to their sphere and their followers. So it's a unique thing, man.
That is a very unique thing. I think the model of creating something that's unique, that is rare, that you can offer for that relationship is super powerful. So who, as a real estate agent, because so we have different models of, hey, we reach out and we convert leads for real estate agents. We have podcasts that we have agents on. And we find some people are really good with media and some people are not. So
Yeah.
how does that go about? How do you coach a loan officer to find the right real estate partner to create content with?
That's a good question. I'm not giving earth-shattering advice that any of them, mortgage or real estate, should be doing video and social. We all
Right.
know that. Tom Ferry's built an entire coaching program around things like that. That's why he's the number one real estate trainer in real estate. And why is it so important? Well, think about it. 2 million people are going to go to Zillow today.
Right.
HGTV got bought for $6 billion. What does that tell you? It tells you people actually like real estate content. The problem is, as you're the context of your question, most realtors and mortgage professionals aren't very good at it. And they're definitely
Right.
not consistent. And why? Because they get caught up in all the things that are responsibilities of running a mortgage pipeline and team and everything else. So it's not easy to get good at it. But I think growth comes from discomfort. And I think
Mm.
what people have to do is they have to really realize, okay, I need to do it even if I don't want to. There's a lot of things you have to do. And these are mortgage guys. They have to do so many things they don't want to do. They might as well do this one too. You got to kind of rip the Band-Aid. And I think a big challenge for professionals is they get so much in their head on this stuff and they just don't do it and they get paralysis analysis. And I always say, get out of your head and get into your heart. Do you love where you live? Do you love what you do? Of course you do. Well, so do your neighbors. And you have
Mm.
this unique opportunity to be the conduit to the stories as to why. And here's a big one, Chris, and this will really hit your answer on the head. I think the challenge for mortgage guys is, what do I talk about? Well, they're experts in interest rates and underwriting guidelines. Well, some of those things may not be that interesting. Put it more into a lifestyle context. Why do you love that area where you live? Why do you love golf? Maybe you could give advice on buying on that golf course. If you're a veteran, maybe you could show veteran neighborhoods how you can buy a house with no money down. But the big thing is, I think the thing that attracts consumers isn't the educational stuff as much as it is the lifestyle stuff. So do the fun stuff, right? And then weave it back into advice. Hey, I'm showing you this golf course and I actually help someone finance a house up there. And another thing is take all the pressure off you and make it about somebody else. Like if I'm a mortgage guy and I'm trying to do it for realtor, make the realtor the hero, right? Hey, tell
Right.
us why you love this neighborhood. Tell us about inventory and what are the unique features of this neighborhood or this development or this project or whatever. Make them the hero. And if it's not a realtor, maybe it's a builder, a developer, a CEO that you want to have a relationship with. And I think if you get out of your head, get into your heart, and you make it about others, not you, it takes a lot of that pressure off of being so good at it. You realize, hey, I'm
Yep.
I'm having fun with it. And that's the last thing I'll say. You got to find a way to have fun with it. You got to have
That's
a,
right.
if you do that, you'll get better over time and you'll see results. You will see results of a growth in following, a growth in referrals. It'll show up, but it may not happen overnight. So that's why you got to make it fun and you just got to get moving.
Yep. I could not agree more. And so when you look at the content, you guys are producing a show that's getting real awards. How do you look at approaching the stories that you're giving to the consumer? Because I think this is valuable for a loan officer who wants to create their own content on social media or whatever it is. Like, what are the hooks and what are the things that the viewer is looking for the content that creates engagement, that actually gets eyeballs on the content?
Yeah, I'm going to say something probably very similar to what I just said. I mean, honestly, think about it again. If I'm a mortgage professional, I want to use things like media and content to attract realtors and builders and financial advisors. So it's an attractor. It's a great way to connect with other professionals. The other side of that is the consumers. I want people to see it. I want them to click share. I want them to subscribe for more. And hey, maybe one day if they want to refinance, they'll call me or whatever, buy a house or whatever. So on the consumer side of it, it gets back to what I was saying. HGTV was bought for $6 billion. People actually like real estate content. And the thing we need to remember is your sphere. Who are they? They're your database. They're your past clients. They're the leads that have come through. They live where you do too, for the most part. So you have something in common with them. They like it there too. Otherwise, why do they live there? You get to be the storyteller as to why. So I think if you make it relevant to your marketplace and show that I live, work, and play here, there's a natural connection there that should get your sphere, which is what's so important to you, from quality of consumer, not quantity, but quality. Well, you have that in common with them. And if you're trying to put it out there more in a quantity, I want this to go viral. I want people to share this. You know what really tends to work? Things in niche. Like, for example, we had a segment that got millions of views. It was a realtor who did a segment on classic cars. You guys that like classic cars are freaks about it. Like, they love the segment, and you just put a little call to action in your post. Like, okay, here's a coaching tip. I would keep the video content, because look, I'm talking about TV shows, but what is a TV show? It's a big old fat video.
Yep.
A lot of your listeners here aren't necessarily just going to go run and do TV shows, but they can do a video. If you got this in YouTube, you can do a video right now. And so to get out there and do things, those people like the niche, but I would keep the content itself clean. Like, if I was going to go do something on why I live in Encinitas, the 101 and the restaurants, I wouldn't spend too much time in that saying, oh, and rates are low, call me. I'd keep that content clean, and I'd make it lifestyle oriented, because that's connecting with my sphere and the people that live there. But in the post is where you do a call to action. Hey, friends and family, I hope you enjoyed this segment where I showed off why I love Encinitas, had so much fun. Speaking of Encinitas, we just closed on a deal on the mortgage side of things and locked this rate. And I would do that in the copy rather than the content itself. And I would keep that content clean so it doesn't come across as like an infomercial. Rather, oh, this is compelling content that might compel somebody to share it.
Yep.
And that's where the niche stuff comes in. Like, there's an agent who did a segment on the local soccer team. You know what soccer's doing in this country? It's growing like crazy. Well, if you say something in that post, like, if you liked this segment, it would mean the world to me if you click share. Or if you liked this content, I'm going to be doing a lot more on YouTube. Please subscribe for more. It's so subtle. And it's kind of like Gary Vee said, jab, 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 hook. It's mostly jabs, and your hook can come in there every once in a while.
Got it. That's fantastic. So, because all of our listeners are loan officers, I think we've got an incredibly powerful hook, right? Loan officer goes to the real estate agent. Hey, I've got this connection. I'd like to feature you on this show. They do the show together. They've got this incredible first value-based event that happens, right? Do you coach, or what are your thoughts on how to keep the relationship going to the point where a referral starts to happen and that referral relationship actually comes together?
Well, let's pretend there isn't a show, because a lot of your mortgage professionals aren't on the show.
Yep.
And I'm not here to pitch people on joining the show. If someone wants to connect to me, they can find me on social and shoot me a message. I'm here to add value to you, your listeners. And I've already said, I'm going to say it again. I absolutely love the mortgage industry. Look, we have a lot of mortgage professionals tied into what we do. Barry Habib is tied into what we do. Dave Savage is an advocate for what we do. And what I've learned, and also, originally being a mortgage professional, these are serious professionals.
Yep.
They really chose this business. They love this business. And let's be honest, it's a grind right now.
Yeah.
And they're fighting to win, and they're fighting to gain their market share, to survive, to thrive. And there's so much you have to know: how do interest rates work, how to run a pipeline, how to chase realtors. Oh, by the way, I also have to work with that consumer. It's just, and I get paid the last on the deal, and I'm never thanked. And everyone gripes at me if it doesn't go right, not realizing how hard. Like, wouldn't it be nice, Chris, if when the deal funded, rather than just a wire and onto the next deal, Someone had to take that $500,000 loan and slide cash across the table. We can at least see it for a second. Like, I
Mhm.
gave you that money. Like, wouldn't that be a nice feeling to be able to be like, I just gave you $500,000. Look, finding a home is easy. Finding
Mm,
a home is hard. So I have a huge heart for the mortgage industry. So back to your question. I'm trying to remember what the question is. Okay, how do you take it from I'm doing something with you again? Let's remove American Dream TV. That's a life hack. But
yeah.
look, you can do video. You can hire a videographer, even do stories and things like that with your iPhone. How do you take it from a place where it's like we did this thing and how you continue the relationship? The thing about like if you are going to spend a little money, I do recommend, you can get a videographer inexpensively. Editing's really inexpensive. And you know as well as anybody, because you're a tech guy, AI can crank out all these extra videos off of the content you shoot. So think about that for a second. So if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do a video with a top agent who sells in downtown San Diego, and I'm just like, look, let's go create some content on why we love America's finest city. You're going to give some advice around the market, the lifestyle. I'll weave in a little mortgage advice, and we're going to have a cool video. We're going to get it edited. Well, that video could have the audio stripped and now it's a podcast. It could
Mhm.
get turned into 20 other videos. You probably screwed up a bunch. You could turn into a blooper reel. Like all of these other layers of content could be posted and shared later. And so I would just really think, okay, the video itself is like a big rock thrown into a lake, creates a splash. You post it, how many people saw it, but the ripple effect are all the other things you could do around it. And if you had a real estate's a relationship business. If you had a good time with that top realtor, you might say, hey, now that we just did downtown, in a month from now, do you want to go do one on Little Italy? I had a lot of fun doing that with you. Why don't you and I every month do a unique video on a different market? So at the end of this year, we have 12 videos that show that we are experts on all the different micro markets of San Diego. So the next time a client reaches out to you, a potential buyer or whoever, you can send them this video with all of these views we got of it and say, yeah, I'm an expert in Del Mar. I'm an expert in La Jolla. There's just so much life you can get out of it. And I think a lot of times people look at video, they show up and they throw up, and here it is. It's like, no, squeeze that turnip and pull more out of it for mini content, repostable content. And if you have a good time with that relationship, use it as an excuse to do it again.
And just keep the relationship going with the agent with
Keep
continued
stoking the
appointments
fire.
for content.
And I'll give you guys a life hack in mortgage. I have had a front row seat to the best realtors in the world. Many of them are part of what we do. Top agents all over the country are involved with this thing. Some of the biggest names in real estate. And I will tell you, it is shocking to me how much of them still don't get it. Like they
Yep.
still don't do it. I mean, most of them still don't do it. Gary Vee said there's a video of him speaking at the Inman conference many years ago. And he says, you need to be the digital mayor of your town. You need to be a media company, comma, a realtor. That 2-minute video, I actually pulled it from there because it's such a great explanation, was like 7 or 8 years ago. And I
Yep.
still reference it today. And he literally says to an audience, think about this, Chris, for a second. That guy costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to take a stage and be a keynote. He said in that keynote to the Inman conference, 99% of you are not going to do what I tell you to do. Could you imagine having the audacity to be paid that much money and look at an audience and be like, 99% of you are not going to do this because you're lazy and it requires work? It's crazy. But there's some truth to that. And so
Mhm.
I want the mortgage professionals that are listening to this thinking that you're behind. Realtors aren't keeping up with it either. And if you're
Yeah.
the one who's like real mortgage guys have to win them over by adding value. And if you get in there and you create a systematic approach to helping them create content and even shooting it, you are so valuable to them. Even though it might be crazy, I'm telling you, I live in this world. Your unique selling proposition to realtors is by creating a systematic approach by helping them build their brand and content strategy. You will be so thanked for that, amongst all the other things you do, closing on time and great rates and all that. But I'm telling you, this is not stale. It's just as relevant. It's probably more relevant now than it was in the past because social media in the past was like, yeah, yeah, you should do it. Now it's like you have to do it.
Yeah. And we're seeing new market segments coming up. 35, I think 37% of all the homes sold in the market last year were first time home buyers. So the demographic keeps skewing younger and younger. And I think one of the great things that's happening in the mortgage industry right now, if we look to shed the positive light on the realness of the market that we're in. I think it's like 60 some odd of the loan professionals have left in the last 2 years. So if you think about the Gary Vee conference and he gets up and says, most of you won't do it, a lot of the people that are left in the industry right now are the ones that will, and that
Yeah.
will do it, and that do have the opportunity, and they are the doers because they're still here and they're still taking market share. And I think that as this turns, we're going to see those people that are still here in the industry take, and what I hope is a more than fair share of the market that's going to come, because they're the ones that are left and they're the ones that have leaned in on this stuff. And I think if they can take,
It's a fact. It's hard. It's a grind to get there, but it's a truth. On the other side of the challenging market and disruption is the opportunity. It is there. Stay the course.
yeah.
I
And
know it. I know it's hard. I have a lot of these conversations with really high quality professionals. I know
yeah,
it's tough. Stay the
and
course.
partner with the right relationships. Like use this as an opportunity to build these relationships with top producers, because they're the ones that are going to continue to take the volume as the volume comes back into the marketplace. And it's a great opportunity to just take another offer, put it in your toolkit, and use it to win more of those top producing relationships.
I
So
agree. I mean, look, the Rocket buys Redfin, buys Mr. Cooper, Zillow expanding its mortgage presence. Look, it's going to continue to grow and it's going to become more transactional in some regard. But those who are relationship oriented, who work their database, who own their zip codes, I can assure you this. The disruption is going to move people out of this business. What's left over, I believe that you will gain market share by being a great marketer. The transactional based businesses are not going to be able to take your relationships. They're going to win some business, but what will be left over will be plenty for who's still grinding this thing out. And more are going to leave. The harder it gets, you just got to remind yourself every day. It makes the opportunity on the other side that much brighter. Look, one day rates are going to drop again and there'll be refinances and you'll be standing there being like, ah, thank you, Lord. Like here, here we are. We made it. But look, guys, this is the horse you rode in on. This is an
yep.
entrepreneurial journey. It's not for the fainted heart. You should be really proud of yourself for even being here and fighting the fight.
That's fantastic. Well, Craig, thank you for being so generous with your time. If people are looking to get more information, learn more about you, where do people go?
Just look, hit me up on Instagram, at Craig Sewing Media. Just I'm active in there. I look at the messages I get. Shoot me a message there. Follow. It's good to connect with people there. That's easy enough.
Amazing. And all that information will be in the show notes. And thank you again for being on the show. And everybody, thank you for listening. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you, Chris.